Hey crew, it's Mike with Riding in the Ozarks, and today we're going to do a review of the Danner's men's 8-inch Acadia tactical boot. The upper on this boot is made of full grain leather and 100 denier nylon. It has a Gore-Tex breathable yet waterproof lining and a fiberglass shank. The Acadia also has a Vibram sole. As you can see, even though I've had this boot for 6 years, it's still very rigid. It was my only motorcycle boot for the first 3 years I owned it. Have you ever had to stop on an uneven surface and the bike tipped over? Well, should you find yourself with the bike on top of your foot, with this fiberglass shank, you don't have to worry about it getting crushed completely, like what might happen in a pair of tennis shoes or sandals. As I mentioned, the upper is made of leather and cordura and has an 8-inch shaft sitting on a 1 1/4 inch heel. Even as an 8-inch boot, this boot is still very light. Let's put it on the scale and then we'll compare it to some other boots I have. 27.5 ounces. Here we have another Harley boot that is shorter that also has some nylon and leather uppers. This boot is just over 25 ounces. Here we have a shorter Salomon hiking boot. This is made with a little bit of leather and nylon, and this boot comes in at just over 18 ounces. The stitch down construction on this boot makes it recraftable at the Portland factory. That means if it needs new eyelets, or maybe a piece of nylon needs to be replaced, or it needs new soles, you can ship it in to Danner and they will recraft this boot. Now, they don't say exactly what it costs. I'm sure it varies from boot to boot. You'll need to contact them to find out if you're interested in those services. Now let's talk fit. I've had this boot for 6.5 years. I actually ordered it in an 8.5 double E, a wide. I wear wide sizes. I've always wore an 8.5 wide boot since high school. The problem is it's often hard to find a boot in the style I want in wide sizes, and sometimes I have to go up to a 9 if they don't have a double E. I was able to order this boot in an 8.5 double E and it fits me to a T, just like it should. Now these boots are made in the USA. They are not cheap boots. You should expect to pay somewhere around $350 for these boots. When I first bought these boots, I was riding 200 miles a day for a commute to work. And these were my only motorcycle boots. And they were great in that situation. The problem I ran into is 4 years ago, I took a job where my commute is now less than 30 minutes a day. And I spend more time walking and standing on concrete floors than I do riding the motorcycle. And this boot is very stiff and solid. And while it is great for some things, it's not great for standing on concrete floors all day. In conclusion, I would say if you're going to spend more time on the bike than walking or standing on a hard surface, these are still a great choice. But if you're going to spend a lot of time walking around or standing on concrete or asphalt, then these are not the best choice. Like this upcoming vacation, we're going to have several days where we'll be walking and checking out vendors and standing around a lot, probably more so than we'll be riding. So for those days, I'm looking into a riding shoe. But that's a whole nother video. If I know I'm going to go out and ride 500 miles in a day and spend a lot more time in the saddle than I am on my feet, I still choose these boots. If I know the weather is going to be bad, I choose these boots because they are waterproof, but light and breathable still. I think these still are a great boot for the price, as long as you understand the best case scenarios for using them and you're not buying them for comfort. Just for full disclosure, as I said, I bought these boots about 6 years ago. This isn't sponsored. These were not given to me by anybody. I'm just reviewing all my motorcycle boots to give you guys some perspective and my opinion on what kind of boots work best for what kind of riding scenarios. I'll put a link in the description down below where you can find these boots on Amazon if you're interested in them. I happen to purchase them from a uniform store. They specialize in uniform products for law enforcement, post office, firefighters, EMTs. These are a tactical boot and worn by many first responders. If you guys like this video, give it a big thumbs up. If you do that YouTube thing, check out the content on my channel. And if you dig it, you can subscribe down below. Don't forget to ring that bell to be notified the next time I drop a new video. And as always, thank you for your support. Stay safe and keep on riding.